Hey folks, so sorry it's a long time since I've done a video, so just to give you a little update on sort of why it's taken so long, as I've been really focusing on getting exercise in, and I've been working longer hours at work, so there's been much less time in the evenings and I've just tended to relax and not been able necessarily to get out to do things. However, I wanted to share with you something I always like playing with my Fuji cameras and the film simulations. And one of the cameras that maybe everyone aspires to but probably can't afford is a Leica camera. They have quite unique lenses and quite a unique look to their pictures, but even they start at about £1,000, but really for the quality of lenses like the Q2, cameras like the Q2, you're paying £5,000, £6,000, £7,000. It's a staggering amount of money. So I've got my Fujifilm X100V here, which is a premium camera, but they're only £1,000. I say only, you can buy a decent camera for £100 really if you're prepared to get something old. But it's got quite a unique look to the lens. So I thought, well, it's an X-Trans4 sensor. Now this film simulation I want to talk to you about is to get that Leica Q2 look. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to be similar. And you've got, as I say, the X100V has quite a unique lens, very sharp lens. So it's going to vary between whether you use it on an older X-Trans3 sensor Fuji camera, or an X-T4, or an XS10 as I'm filming this on. It's going to vary a little bit because the look of a camera is not just characterized by the camera itself, but also by the lens you use. And that's what I want to come on to in another video. I want to talk more in detail about using vintage lenses on cameras to get that kind of vintagey film look. And I love to get that film look out of a camera. And Leica kind of do have that look. If I bring an image up now for you to have a look at, you'll see that they're quite contrasty. The colours are punchy in some respects, but they are at the same time quite muted, rather like classic chroma is probably the closest native film simulation that Fuji has that kind of looks a little bit like what you get out of a Leica camera. But the blacks are really, really, deep in their look, so which adds to the contrast of the image and makes things quite bold, especially for documentary photography. This is why they're so popular with documentary photography and street photography, because they have that real gritty look to them. So that's what I wanted to do with this film simulation. So moving on from the sample image that I've got from a Leica Q2 that I just downloaded off the internet, because I don't have a Leica, I can't afford one, so I had to get a sample image to give you an idea of what I was basing this on. I went to a car show a couple of weeks ago. A friend was there had organised it, and it's a lot of classic British cars, Triumphs mostly. And these, I'm just bringing them up now so you can see them. These are a few of the pictures I took. And again, I'm following my path of doing out of camera photography. And again, the reason behind that is we all don't have Lightroom. We all don't have the time to process. And I took these pictures in camera. I didn't process them all in camera with the film simulation, actually. I accidentally switched the simulation part-way through and did them in Provia by accident. Fortunately, with the Fuji camera, you can use a piece of software. Again, I'll do a little video on this because you may not have come across it. There's a piece of software, Fuji X-Raw Studio, which allows you to apply a custom film simulation that you've created in your camera, using the camera's processor to apply them in camera as if you'd taken them from the RAW file. So even if you've taken a picture in RAW on your Fuji and you go, I wish I'd done that in JPEG to get a film simulation, you can do that. And that's what I did with some of these images to get the exact same image. And the reason I want to use this out of camera, as I've said in other videos as well, is because you can't get the film grain precisely in Lightroom. You can't match the colours precisely in Lightroom. And a lot of these pictures, this picture I've got that I put up of from the Leica camera was a JPEG. It was emulating what comes out of camera. And half the time when we take pictures on mobile phones, that's what we do. So as much as I do like playing in Lightroom, I really like the art of photography of taking a picture and trying to do it right in camera. No fancy, necessarily long exposures or anything like that. Just, good old-fashioned compose, using my histogram to make sure that the picture's exposed correctly, using the viewfinder, and actually enjoy taking the picture. And that's the joy you get out of doing film simulations. Now, if you don't have a Fuji camera, you can still have a go at this. I know that Lumix cameras and Olympus cameras, especially the pens, do have JPEG modes that you can fiddle with the contrast, the tone curves, grain and things like that. So your mileage may vary, but stick with the natural profile. If you look through my Lumix videos, you'll see I did a Lumix video. I'll link it in the description as well, of how to get a classic chrome look on a Lumix camera. And this applies to most modern Lumix cameras. So your mileage may vary. And I am a fan of Fuji cameras, so this is why it's a Fujifilm simulation predominantly. But that's not to say you can't have a go. And again, try doing it out of camera. It'll teach you a lot more about exposure and getting it sort of right first time. And again, down to what I was saying right at the start of the video about having time to do things, and the fact that I've had to have time to start enjoying life a little bit apart from, instead of existing, because months ago the videos used to be fun for me to do and an outlet, but I didn't have much energy to do anything else, and I'm just getting to that cusp where I've got energy to do other things. So I'm saying, well, can I still enjoy photography and actually enjoying taking the pictures? Because when I do a POV walk, I do enjoy it, but I can't walk as easily now. I can cycle quite well, but walking's still hard for me. And one of the things is, although I love doing the commentary on it, and I will do some more POV walks as I improve my fitness, is that I don't enjoy it as much for me, from the point of view of enjoying taking the picture. So I've really been getting into the using the viewfinder on my camera. The viewfinder on this X100V down here is fantastic. So that's what I want you to encourage you to do is to, you can do it with a mobile phone, Snapseed if you want, because it's built into the camera and you can do real-time effects on a lot of camera phones. But let's try and learn the forgotten art of just taking an enjoyable picture. And that's kind of the whole ethos of what this is about. So I want to do more custom film simulations. There'll be little short videos like this, probably shorter because I've waffled on a little bit to explain why I've done this. But I'm going to maybe try and do one a month, maybe one every other month, of a different film simulation. One for summer, one for autumn. And I'm going to try and do a little bit more out of camera. Come the autumn, I think I'll be strong enough to do the POV walks without fatiguing. The last one hammered me. Once I can do shopping on foot and not use a mobility scooter, which I'm getting close to, I'll be able to do that. And the update is I'm cycling on my e-bike, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, and it's working really well so far, but it's early days yet. And I do have to focus on my recovery as well. But, I've enjoyed doing this little video. I thoroughly enjoyed taking the pictures with my X100V. And sort of lost something that I, just by holding... Normally when we take a picture, we hold a camera in front of us. And it was beautiful to just bring the camera up to the viewfinder. The camera up to the viewfinder, my eye up to the viewfinder. This has been done in one take, folks. And just enjoy the quality of the viewfinder and sometimes switch to the optical viewfinder and really start to enjoy photography. And that's what I want these film simulations to be about. And I'll try and do them for other cameras. I might get some second-hand cheap cameras. So I'd love to get a pen, an original pen camera by Olympus, because it's got the same ethos as Fuji of like doing it in JPEG out the camera. I'm quite excited for some of the new cameras that Fuji are getting. I can't afford them, but they're doing a new file format, which is like I think HIEF, I think it's called, which is a better quality, but it's a straight out of camera one. Because JPEGs are not quite the same quality as a RAW file. But then, whenever we convert something, we store them as JPEGs. It kind of defeats the object, doesn't it? So, yeah. So I'm not a professional, I'm an amateur, and I just enjoy photography. So, Please do discuss in the comments these things I've talked about. You know, what do you think about your cameras? Do you have questions? Do you have requests? I have camera A. Can you do this on a camera? I'm quite happy to spend a couple £100 if I can afford it on getting an old camera and trying it on that. You know, I enjoy collecting cameras as a hobby, as it were. So if I can afford it, I'll do it, or if I can do it with a similar camera. So, you know, again, I'll link the Discord in. It's slow going. I don't update it very often, but the idea is to start building somewhere where we can share our results. So if you've done what's in this film simulation, we can share it and link it. Because half the time it's difficult to interact with folks who watch the videos outside of doing the video, if you like. So, and as I get better, I'll be able to dedicate more time to this. So the next video, I'm aiming to do 1 to 2 a month videos. Not quite the 1 a week I was doing. It was easier to do that, ironically, when I was more a bit poorly because I wasn't working. But once I started working, it became very difficult to fit it in energy-wise. But I am a lot better now, as you can probably tell. So next video will be coming soon on some of the subjects that we've discussed. It could be another film simulation. It might be something out on location. I also want to sort of share some more travel-like vlogs in the sense of me getting out on my bike. And once I've got a bit more energy on that and I'm more comfortable on that, I'll do some, you know, Nat goes out on a bike. And you'll get some first-person footage from that, and we'll stop off and we'll see if we can do a bit of street photography on the bike, or there might be some wildlife to photograph. We'll just go on a little journey together and see what we can find. So that's things for the future. So I've waffled on a bit. It was mainly about the film simulation. This is my Leica Q2 film simulation. Please let me know in the comments if you liked it. Please let me know in the comments if you didn't like it or you'd like me to change it. Let me know what you think. And if you did enjoy the video, please do like it and do share it, because it always helps that algorithm, which we're always wanting to do. And apologies for not doing a video sooner, but life is sometimes getting in the way for me and I can't always do them, rattle them off at 1 a week. And this has to be something I enjoy and not something that burns me out. And it was interesting watching one of the videos from one of my favourite channels is Tech, and he was commenting on how he wanted to take a bit of time out a few weeks ago on videos because he wanted to reevaluate how he was doing things. And he's another channel you should follow if you're not already. And I do want to talk about other channels that I watch as well and enjoy, because there's quite a few that make me learn more about photography. Tech, make me laugh. There's a one called Photo Ripper I watch, but let's save that for another video. My favourite channels will be coming soon, maybe the next one. Anyway, I'll see you all later, folks. Bye.